Kelly, if you'd like, you can start the recording and we will get started. All right, so welcome to the Understanding Your Transfer Credit webinar. So right now it is the SoE hubs in the registrar department. And we are going to introduce ourselves. So my name is Kim Loring. I'm one of the SoE hub advisors.
My name is Karen Lewis, and I am also an SoE Hub advisor.
Hi, my name is Mary, and I am the Assistant Registrar for Transfer Credit in the Registrar's Office.
Next slide. So getting started. So this is just a review of what we're going to be talking about over this next hour. So we already did the introduction. The next step, we will cover course requirements to transfer the credit. Then we'll follow with the process and then go through the deadline and also what our recommended deadline as advisors is. And then finally, we're going to review where to see the actual transfer credit. So once it's fully processed, and then we'll land on comments and questions at the end. Next slide. So what will transfer in? How do I transfer my credit in? The big questions you have right now as you have been accepted, you're trying to get everything completed. So we're going to start with AP scores. So you will see a difference between Haas, so those are humanities, arts, and social science, and then there's the science, engineering, and management courses. So generally for Haas, you're going to need a score of 4 or 5, versus the science, engineering, and management, you will need at least a score of 5. On the left, you're going to see a chart, and that's what to expect when you go to the registrar's website, and they break it down very easily so you can see what AP, what credit, what score you need, what credit it transfers in as, and how many credits, because RPI does have 4 credit hour classes versus some credit can be 3 credit hours. So I'm going to have Karen pull up that registrar website and hand it off to her to go through where to find that information.
Okay, so I am going to bring this down here. Now you could look at the registrar's office website through info.rpi.edu, but I know everybody's a fan of Google, so I'm just going to pull it up that way and show you specifically what our website looks like. This is basically all the information that you're going to need for a lot of your course planning. But for this particular slide that Kim was mentioning about the AP, you're beginning fall 2023, so we're going to click here, and this is where all the information is going to have be loaded for you specifically. So if we click on obtaining AP and IB credit, it's going to tell you details and all the instructions that how to transfer all these courses. But the bigger question that everybody has is, what does our course look like? What does it come in as? This is the same exact full evaluation of what Kim was detailing on her previous slide. So this is where you're going to find all of that information. Okay, so I'm going to bring this back up here so we can continue on with our conversation.
Thank you, Karen. So as you saw, that's where you can find those scores. Those are very important. We know we have a lot of questions from freshmen coming in on whether the score will meet the requirements. That is the first place that you want to look. So you're able to find that information right now if you wanted to. And then, of course, we are here as your advisors to support you. So once you determine your credit is good to transfer, you're going to want to request those scores through College Board. So we did put a little snippet of what the website looks like down below and have the website located under the reference as well. So if you haven't done that already, please do that as soon as possible. Even if you're not sure if it'll go towards your program, it's always good to transfer in as much credit as possible because that will help you for your time ticket. So you could potentially register sooner. So just remember that while we're going through this process, that even if it doesn't meet certain requirements, it might be able to benefit you in another way. Next slide, Karen, please. IB scores. So there's a little bit of a difference between AP and IB. For IB, you can have a 6 or a 7 for Haas or for any science, engineering, and management courses. Again, you can find those scores, that same template through the registrar's website. It's literally right underneath the AP one. It'll pull up a PDF format for you so you can review it, print it off, whatever you need to do to determine your credit transfer. Um, for a note, once you transfer in the credit, you won't get, it doesn't impact your GPA. It'll just transfer in as credit. The same for your AP. I forgot to mention that before, but you can definitely order that transcript through the International Baccalaureate website. Again, there's a little snippet down below. So if you need a reference of what it looks like. And again, if you didn't request it yet, please do so immediately. Next slide. All right, Cambridge exam grades. So this is where it gets a little bit different. So if you take one of these exams, it's the A-level exam, you need an A or a B on certain eligible exams. Now, where can you find these courses? It's actually through our RPI self-service information system. So it's the transfer course guide for us. There are detailed instructions on the registrar website right underneath the AP and IB information. Everything's pretty much housed on that website. So when in doubt, just go to that website. And then you can determine which of those exams will transfer in. Once you determined you have one of those grades and it is accepted by RPI, you can order an official transcript from the Cambridge International website. Again, the credit that you get from the class will transfer, but the grade does not transfer towards your GPA. So we kind of already went through this part, but this is the registrar's office's website. And then you're going to see an arrow where it says registrar forms. So this is what we're going to be referring to in the next two slides about where to find those. So you'll click the registrar forms, and then if you look on the right of it, it'll say registrar forms. It'll pop up in a separate window, and you'll be able to select any of those. And it'll come as a PDF, I believe. So you can print it off, fill it out, whatever you need to do. Next slide, please. Okay, so transferring dual enrollment credit. So this is a big one. So in order for it to transfer, you do need a C- or better from that institute that you took it at. And then there's a two-step process. So this is a little bit different than when you ordered the other AP, IB, Cambridge exams. Step one is to complete the high school certification form. And when you're submitting that, before you submit it, you do need a sign off from your high school, whether it's a counselor, administrator, whoever's in charge of it, to sign off to say that it was not used to your high school requirements. Because per RPI policy, you cannot use that credit if it's already been used. So if you are unsure at this point if it was used for your high school graduation, I would reach out to the school so that way you can clear that up. If so, you send it over to one of those administrators, counselors, and they'll sign off saying it wasn't, and then you'll submit it to registrar at that transfer credit at rpi.edu email. And then the next step is to order an official transcript from that college, institute, wherever you took it, and have it sent to that same email. A good note to make is even if you sent that transcript for admissions, you have to resend it to registrar specifically because registrar doesn't have access to that admissions document. So it's a two-step process. If you only do one part of it, it's not going to be completed. It won't transfer in. So make sure you follow through with those two steps. Again, no grade is given for transfer credit. It'll meet your requirement for whatever class it transfers in as, but it's not going to impact your GPA. Next slide, please. All right, transferring summer courses. So these are courses you may have taken over the summer. They're not affiliated with your high school. They weren't under your high school. They weren't dual enrollment. It's literally just classes that you decided to take over the summer. So you still have to have that C- or better. And then with that, you have to complete the transfer credit form. Now, it's recommended if you could have done that before you started taking the class, just in case it isn't approved. But if you're already taking it and you're trying to see if it'll transfer in, you want to complete that form and send it over to registrar. It's that same email address. Again, that email address is the same for this whole presentation, so make sure you save that somewhere. And you're going to send that form over to make sure it gets reviewed along with the course description. And then Mary will see if it will get approved. And then upon approval, that's when we'll have you send an official transcript to have it sent over to RPI or transferred into RPI. Again, the grade does not transfer. It's not going to impact any GPA. It'll just meet requirements. On that, I would like to ask if Mary would like to add anything into this because she is the one that goes through this process. Mary, do you have anything you would like to add?
Not fully. I just want to say that, just to make sure that you send over those course descriptions, for those courses, I did decide to make it a little bit easier so you don't have to get the approval yourself. So I'm going to send those off to the designated schools to receive that approval. And that also is the same process for our dual enrollment. So I just wanted to add that we also need those course descriptions for any dual enrollment courses. Um, so just send over the form and your course descriptions, and then I'll get that evaluated for you, and I can give you an update on what it was approved as, if it was approved, and let you know if we will need the official transcript once you completed that course.
Thank you, Mary. I appreciate it. Next slide, please. All right, so we just gave you a bunch of information, where to find your requirements, how to determine if they'll transfer, and we kind of went through the process, but we made a little bit of an easier figure to look at. So sometimes I tell students, get their phone, take a picture if you need to make your life a little bit easier. Again, we are going to be posting this online so you can watch it again, but pretty much AP credit, you earn whatever score that you need for those specific areas, you request the scores, and then they get sent to RPI. IB, same scenario, earn a 6 or a 7 on any test, request the scores, and send it over.
And
Cambridge,
Kim, I just wanted to add in that
yeah.
IB credit, it's going to be for the higher level examinations, not the standard level. RPI's policy doesn't allow standard level exams, only the higher level.
Thanks, Mary. I appreciate the clarification. So higher level of the IB credit. And then the 6 or 7s are still as posted, right, Mary?
Yes, yep, that's still correct.
Okay, awesome. So you'll still follow through that process that you have posted there. And then Cambridge exams, earn that A or B, request the transcript, and send over to RPI. I'll give you a second if anyone else needs to just review it real quick, and then we'll move on to the next slide. All right, next slide, please. All right, so dual enrollment. So this is the one where you already taken the course in high school, you already completed it. So you want to have that C- or better. You want to complete the incoming freshman transfer credit procedure form or high school certification. And like I said, you need to have it confirmed by some representative from your school to say that it wasn't used towards your high school graduation. Once that's signed off and you're good to go, you want to request that official transcript from that institution and have it sent over to RPI. Transfer summer credit, you're going to do that transfer credit approval form, send it over to Mary along with course descriptions, also course descriptions with dual enrollment. And then once you pass the class, you'll have that transcript sent over to RPI. All right, next slide, please. Okay, so when should I do this by? When should I have my credit transferred in? So official registrar policy is that you need to have it by the end of your first year to be considered for transfer. So May 2024. The sooner the better. As you can see from the advisor's recommendation, we would like to have it before you start your fall registration. And that's mainly so we properly advise you. There's ease of registration. An example we can give you is a lot of people have AP, IB, or dual enrollment credit from Calculus 1. If we don't have that credit and you're trying to get into Calculus 2, you do have to get an override, which can take some time. So again, so we can get you in those courses as soon as possible, it'd be good to have that credit transferred in. Next slide, please. Okay, so where can I see my transferred credit once it's been processed and approved? So if you haven't already set up your SIS account, we do have resources on our personal SoE Hub website. But if you Google SIS RPI, I'm sure it'll pop up for you. So you'll go to that website, you'll hit the student menu up at the top, it's in black, and then you'll hit view transcript. And once that view transcript comes up, it'll open up and you'll see any process transfer credit. If you have looked at this and you say, hey, I'm missing a bunch of credit, you can follow up with Mary at that transfercredit@rpi.edu email, but just also be aware of time frame. So if you just ordered it yesterday, it's not going to come in. Maybe give it a few weeks. If you do have questions, though, she is available through that email. Please note she is processing all transfer credit for the whole institution, so she is very busy. So just make sure you include your name, your RIN, major, and that way you can help her out a little bit while she's trying to help you. And then I'm going to pause again. And Mary, would you like to insert anything?
I did just want to give an update that if you had submitted your scores, your AP scores from College Board up until July 3rd, they've been processed. I processed a whole bunch today and over the weekend. So if you didn't see it prior, I would double check to see if everything that you're looking to receive credit for is on there. And if not, then you can go ahead and email me or double check with College Board to make sure that it was actually sent to RPI.
Thanks, Mary. We'll move on to the next slide. All right, some additional items. So while we do have for transfer credit, the max to be 32 credit hours, transfer credit and 28 total from AP IB, there's additional requirements and limits for transfer credit. So for Haas specifically, you can only transfer up to 8 credits, and the same limit applies to the math and science core requirement. If you transfer in more than that for those areas, they can be used towards free electives. If you do have any questions about this, depending on your major, just reach out to the hub that you are part of, and the advisor can go through it in more detail with you. But those are standard requirements. And then finally, you always have the option to decline all or part of your advanced placement awards. But if you do so say you transfer in AP Calc and then you decide to take AP Calc and you get a D in it the first semester, you forfeit that credit because you decided to register and complete it and get a grade for it. So if you're on the fence about doing so, again, reach out to your advisor and see what would work best with you. Have that discussion. We do have add and drop deadlines for a reason, so just make sure you're aware of those, and always communicate. And we can go to the next slide. And that wraps up our presentation of transfer credit. We will open up the presentation now for questions.
There is a question in the chat. When do I know if my dual enrollment credits are processed?
I'm actually going to chime in here just because I was working with Joyce. I have an update on your course approval for that, but Mary can, if you are actually looking at your transcript on SIS, as Kim outlined in the transcript, you will see that your dual enrollment credit would be posted there. At this point, I'm not sure of the status of dual enrollment credits. I know that the APs were the priority for this week, considering she received so many resources. Mary can chime in further, but I did want to address that question with you, Joyce, that I did get an update on your summer course transfer approval. And I'll be emailing you shortly about that.
Karen, just on a separate note, do you mind just CCing me in that information just so I have it? And I can look into that situation for the student.
Absolutely.
Hey, I had a question that came in privately. Someone asked if there was a chance that they can get their calc credit transferred in if they get a 4 on the AB part and a 5 on the BC part. How would that work?
So we are, this was an update to our current policy. So if you received a 4 on your calculus BC, but a sub-score of 5 for your calc AP, it is approved and it should be processed if you had already set in those in your score report. If not, I'd get that done so I can process that for you.
Thanks, Mary. Would it be the same if it was flipped? So if they received a 4 on the AB but a 5 on the BC?
So if they took both exams separately, they would receive the credit for the Calc BC, which would be the math, 1010 and 1020, Calc 1 and Calc 2.
Thank you.
Okay, I could read one. It says for IB transfer credits, if my official transcript has already been sent from the IB to RPI, do I need to request the IB to send it again to the registrar's office specifically?
So for this is a little bit strange, but we do receive a mass packet of IB transcripts, and it does typically go to admissions first, and then admissions will send them all over to me. So if you had already selected RPI as your designated recipient, you should be fine.
Thanks, Mary. Okay, we have another one here as well. If we get credit for a math course such as calculus, do we just take the next level until the end? So the answer to that one, if you did get a 5 or you confirmed credit, whether it be in dual enrollment or IB or AP, for Calc 1, you can advance to Calculus 2. Now, if your scores are not in yet to RPI, you will need an override, which is why connecting with the hub advisors will allow that to happen, but that is something you can definitely do. And we give a 2-week window at the start of classes where if you did register for Calculus 2, having credit for Calculus 1, and you find that it's too strenuous or it's too advanced for what you learned, you can always drop Calculus 1 within that, or Calculus 2 within that window, and find a section of Calculus 1. So that's why communication with your hub advisor early in this stage of the semester is really helpful, because we can help you navigate those questions, because you really don't know until you're actually in the course on how you're going to do. So Kim mentioned you have the option to take Calculus 1 again, but that means that that AP credit will go away. We don't double count. So that's kind of how that whole thing would work. So the key to that is just communicating with us on how you feel you're doing. We have another one here. If I was dual enrolled in multiple classes for different colleges, will I have to send a registrar form for each separate class? The answer is yes. You will have to cover a form and have a signature for each school that you're taking those courses in. If you have more than one in, like, it only allows for one, so that you're going to have multiple forms.
I can read off the next one. If I sent my official transcript from Parchment to RPI, should I resend it specifically to transfer credit or not?
So if you, so I know that transcripts cost money, and instead of, making sure or having you send it twice, if you'd like to send me an email to transfercredit@rpi.edu with your RIN, which is your rensselaer ID number, just send that to me and I can double check with admissions if they received it or not.
Thank you. I think we had another one about prerequisite requirements, mentioning Calc 3 and differential equations. If you send those calculus course descriptions over to us and they're not processed in time, but they are approved, yes, we can override you into the courses that you need. So even if you are in the process of getting those approved, sending the course descriptions expedites those processes. So make sure you prioritize that. Okay, we have another one here. When we'll be notified on how to contact our advisor directly? It depends on your major. We did invite other major schools, School of Science, School of Haas, and School of Engineering here. So if you do not have an advisor, like you're in the School of Engineering, the School of Engineering email address, soehub@rpi.edu, which is where we send all of our communications from. You could reach out to us directly, or you can also utilize the WebEx chat for any questions that you have. We do announce in the beginning of August all the advisor assignments, so you will have an advisor starting the first week of August. But right now, we're still in the process of team advising, so you can contact any of us individually, or you can contact that main SOE hub at rpi.edu email address. Okay, we have one more here. Just to be clear, as I may have missed it, a 5 on the BC part, but a 4 on the AB will give you the complete 8 credits. Yes, that should be correct, right, Mary?
Yep, so in that situation, we wouldn't look at that the sub-score of 4, only your 5 on the BC, and that policy has always been you get Calc 1 and Calc 2 credit. And I believe for the student, it was most likely already processed. Yeah,
Awesome.
the name looks familiar.
Thank you. We have any other questions?
I received one privately, and some other pre-meds might have some similar questions. The question is, if I'm interested in being pre-med, do I work with the pre-med advising hub or the SOE hub? So if you are a biomedical engineer, you can work with me, Kelly Stutz, or if you are in the School of Science, you can work with the School of Science hub. So I kind of use the School of Science a lot too. So really, it just depends on what your declared major is, and then they can kind of direct you towards the correct person.
Any other questions? Well, if you have additional questions, you can always, we're going to be recording this, or we did record this, and this will be posted on our YouTube channel, so we will publish that shortly. In addition to that, please tune into the WebEx chat for any additional questions or contact us directly. We're here to help you, so we hope you found this useful, and want to thank Kim and Mary and the rest of the Hub crew for participating in this. And Mary, thank you coming over from the registrar's office. We appreciate your time today.
No problem. It actually looks like we might have one more question. I just want to make sure that they have a chance to ask it.
Of course. Let's get back down to the bottom here. I took a Wilmu Gothic lit class that would accept credit for the Gothic literature class at Wilmington of University. I was wondering if I could transfer over at all for RPI. Yes, potentially. Basically what you would need to do is follow, if it was a dual enrollment, you would have to follow the dual enrollment procedure. If not, it would be a transfer credit procedure. We would need a course description and the forms for Mary to evaluate, but it has a potential to transfer. Okay. Well, thank you for joining us today. If there's no more questions, we will end this, but I appreciate your time and good luck with everything and keep in touch with us.